Good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday night, and Wednesday night means it's debate night in America. And guess what? You are here, and we are going to be debating 8 top DC movies. That's right. You guys voted on which 8 movies are going to be in tonight's debate. And I'm not doing it alone because I got all you beautiful people in the chat tonight who are going to be voting live to determine who is going to be our winner, who's going to make it through our tournament bracket tonight. And also, I will not just be giving you my opinions. No. Last week, we had Al from After Dark, and now we got his partner. We got Lavis from After Dark and the Den of Nerds, and he's going to be here tonight, coming up in a couple of seconds of minutes, and he's going to be here giving his opinions, his hot takes of DC movies. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Good evening, everybody. Look, last week, I'll turn down the music slightly for this one. Last week, I was so hyped that I finally had another guest here that I neglected the chat a little. So tonight I'm going to do a better job of getting to the chat and seeing what you guys have to say about your favorite DC movies tonight. So definitely give your takes, give your opinions. I will be reading some out tonight. Okay, so let us bring in the man, because he's in the back room. He's in the waiting room. I don't want to wait to bring him out too long. Let's do it. We got Lavis from After Dark.
Up?
Lavis, welcome.
What do you do, mains?
Welcome to
How we
Debate
doing
8. How are you? How you doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
Chilling like a villain.
I'm very excited to have you here, man. I know that you love your DC movies. You, for a while, man, you were rocking the mask a little bit on stream.
Yeah.
So DC, man, DC, how do you feel? Not necessarily just about DCEU, but just like DC movies in general over the lifespan. How do you feel about DC movies?
Over the lifespan? Okay. At least you didn't just hold me to right now.
From the beginning of time.
From the beginning
movies.
of time. Okay, how I feel about DC movies from the beginning of time. Okay, I am very pleased with DC movies from the beginning of time. Even the stumbles that they've had in the more recent times, I still enjoy the DC movies. I still think they have a lot of opportunity and a lot of prospect going into the future. They just got to put it out there, man.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
For.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten a lot of good DC movies over the years, and we got some really good ones to talk about. Man, this bracket tonight is going to be tough. There are going to be some tough decisions that we are going to have to make tonight. Look at this one. All right, let's run this down. All right, so let you guys know what we're talking tonight. We're gonna get one winner.
That's crazy.
All right, the first matchup will be the number 1 seed Batman Begins gonna go up against the number 8 seed of the Joker. That will be your first matchup. Second matchup is gonna be the number 4 seed Batman v Superman going up against the number 5 seed of Wonder Woman. Number 3 seed Dark Knight gonna go up against the number 6 seed of Aquaman, and the number 2 seed Man of Steel goes up against the number 7 seed Batman Returns. A lot of tough matchups. If you're curious how we got these 8, if you are a member of the Discord, !Discord in the chat gets you the link. You can be a part of the Discord, and we do voting to determine which ones make it in, and these are the ones that you guys voted. You created this bracket, so we are going to debate them, man. Lavis.
Wow.
Let's get into this. Right off the bat. We got a tough one here. We got the number 1 overall seed Batman Begins going up against the number 8 seed of the Joker. All right. How do you feel about this first matchup of the night?
I mean, I feel like this one is kind of a no-brainer if you really look at it. I don't really think I need to debate or even give too much of an opinion on which one of these two should be winning. I mean, of course, Batman always succeeds in the very end. So I mean, Batman began and Batman will end it with the Joker. This is a no-brainer. The Joker, that movie, it was dull starting off, I'm not gonna lie. You got to kind of look and see how that character was developing, and there's some crazy twists in there with who might be his father, what his mom's was into, but I mean, it didn't really start getting good to me until the last maybe 20, 25 minutes of that movie where he finally snaps, and this is what we come to see when it comes to the Joker, him snapping and just randomly taking people out, and just how he graciously let my little man, that little midget, just go in the end, because thought he was gonna take him out too. That was a very enjoyable part. But Batman, I'm gonna save a lot for what I would say for Batman Begins later, because this is a no-brainer, man. I mean, Batman, seeing Christian Bale taking on that role after seeing him in Equilibrium, as soon as I heard he was going to be Batman, I was all for it. So, and he did not fail. He totally just was happy to disappoint everybody who thought he was going to be bad. And like I said, I got a lot of hot takes for that too, but I gotta save them for later because
you think it's moving on. Yeah, and you know what? I agree with you on this. This might be a hot take. I don't know if it is or not. I'm not a big fan of the Joker. Not the Joker. Joker. It's not that I think it's a bad movie, because I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I don't know. To me, it was extremely predictable. I knew exactly what was going to happen, beat for beat for beat. Nothing shocked me. Nothing was surprising. Even the whole end on the talk show was straight out of Dark Knight Returns. So, like, I guess for me, as somebody who knew the story of Dark Knight Returns, it had no oomph for me. Like I wasn't shocked. So I know a lot of people that don't, and I'm not saying like I'm like a comic expert, but like I know some things. I'm like slightly above normie, right, when it comes to actual comic books. So it didn't hit me as much as I know that it hit other people. So for me, for that reason, as much as I thought Joaquin Phoenix crushed the script that he got, he got the script and he crushed it. Batman Begins is an awesome movie. On some days, it's my favorite Nolan Batman movie. I flip-flop a lot between this and The Dark Knight. But either way, I think it's head and shoulders above.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. And I see Ryan here in the chat talk about because it wasn't an original movie, because they were saying, you know, they reached back and did stuff from Taxi Driver and another one of the movies paying homage. I don't really think that's really it. I think that for a character study of that character, they dove too much. They gave it too much time as him before the Joker. You know what I'm saying? For it to be a movie that I would like to repeat to watch. It was something that, you know, I went to the movies. I actually went to the movies and watched it, had my own little corner in there. And I'm not gonna front, I had to keep myself awake through most of that movie, toward the middle part of that movie, when, you know, he was starting to look at his mom's different and starting to get the pictures and all that stuff. And then that's when it started to get interesting. You know, when my man Thomas Wayne punched him in the face, I was like, okay, possible turning point here. I thought the scene with him and little baby Bruce Wayne was odd. And just the fact that they're trying to say they knew him, that didn't hit with me. And you know, then the ambiguation of whether or not it's in his mind, if that really happened. We definitely see my man trying to break out at the end. I mean, I don't know, they left too much of the movie itself up in the air and not enough of the character up in the air to want to be like, okay, how is that going to go in the next one? Like, for real, let's see a next one after this. Not because I want things answered, because this movie left so much you know, in the air. So
yeah, it makes sense. Just reading the chat here, we got Jen who says, I love the Joker only because I don't consider it a movie. It's a art movie with him dancing and all. That was his own idea, and it was beautiful. That I will, even though I'm voting for Batman Begins, I will totally agree with Jen on this one. As a piece of art, visually, I can't disagree with that. It looks amazing. The shot compositions are stunning. It is definitely something to study as far as filmmaking goes. And look, I know people can dissect the script and say that it borrows too much. I get that, but like visually, as an art form, I think it nailed it
Right.
in that sense. I just,
And
the story
on a
just
small part,
was not
like
much for
for a
me.
person like me, I didn't really see those movies, Taxi Driver, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I know of them. I've seen little bits of them, but I didn't watch the whole filmography of it to actually be able to break down that movie. So those elements being brought in the Joker for a newer generation,
Yeah.
are kind of like, null and void almost, because
Yeah,
there's
it's a
people
good
taking
point.
their kids to see this movie. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But
No.
they did.
No, if you're
So
under 18, you should not be seeing this movie. No,
yeah, man.
definitely not. All right, let's see what the
Right.
people have to say. Lavis, it's
Yes.
time to vote. If this is your first time here, we vote live. You guys decide who is going to be the winner and move on in the bracket. So let's start the poll right now. If you want to vote for Batman Begins, do exclamation vote 1 in the chat. If you want to vote for Joker, exclamation vote 8. If this is your first time, there is a space between the word vote and the number that you want to do. Just look at what people are doing in the chat. They are the regulars. They've been here every week. They vote. They know. And also, Streamlabs will tell you if your vote counted. So if you don't see Streamlabs voting for telling you that you voted, you probably screwed up. Do it again.
Wow.
All right. I'm going Batman Begins. Lavis is definitely going Batman Begins. Crushing on any dreams that Joker.
I'm trying to see who voted for the Joker. That's what I'd like to see.
I am not surprised that some people would vote for the Joker. It's not out of the question. I think in this particular bracket tonight, I think we have 8 really good movies. So
yes.
So this is not a case where some nights, we have a couple stragglers that somehow make it into the bracket. I think tonight we have 8 stellar movies. So no matter which one actually makes it through, I think we're gonna have a fun night and a fun winner. So it looks like time is wrapping up though. Batman Begins is going to have the clear victory here tonight. 82% of the vote, Lavis.
No brainer.
No brainer.
It's a no brainer.
Definitely. All right, let's go ahead and add Batman Begins to the bracket, and let's go ahead and go back and see where we're at. Batman Begins, moving on. All right. This next one is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be a tough one. We're going to get a lot of opinions on this. We got the number 4 seed Batman versus Superman going up against the number 5 seed of Wonder Woman. Lavis, typically the first round, number 4 seed, number 5 seed, one of the toughest ones we have to get through. How do you feel about this particular matchup?
Now this one is a little difficult for me because I'm gonna flat out tell everybody right now I did not like Wonder Woman. Okay. Ooh. And you would think I would just be like, yeah, BVS all day. But no, flat out, I didn't really like BVS either because I didn't like the storyline. I did not like how they portrayed Batman and Superman. There's just so many different things with that movie that I just disagreed with. And then with Wonder Woman, you get a nice little classical tale of a woman who's pretty much secluded on an island for her whole life, and then meets a man, a nice gentleman, and falls in love, and then winds up having to save the whole world, all in the end of that. So it's just it's a nice little romance drama for everybody with Wonder Woman, and of course Gal Gadot's pretty as hell, so you got her to look at all day. I don't know if anybody really likes Chris Pine, but I hear ups and downs on that. I like Chris Pine. But here nor there. Wonder Woman just in the end just fell flat for me. It really did. It was like she had to go through like so many lengths of a character study and a story before she finally decided to just beat down on Ares. And then just that fight between her and Ares was just bleh to me. It was just a quick, we almost forgot we had to have them fight in the end type fight to me. So like that movie just fell flat. Now BVS, I already said, I don't like the storyline the way they did it, but at the same time, a continuation from Man of Steel, how they continue that, seeing the different aspects of it, seeing how, not everybody was like, we love Superman. After that, it was a realistic take still. So at the same time, while I would have to say I don't like where they decided to pick it up and the elements they put in it, we'll probably get into that later.
Maybe.
We will see. Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe I'll talk if it starts to lose during the voting. I'll start talking a little bit more.
Right.
But I just don't. I don't know. I feel like BVS should go ahead and win with this one. Hashtag who will win. I'd say it'd be BVS in this situation.
Yeah,
It should be.
I don't know. The chat is super mixed. Like Landon's like he thinks Wonder Woman is better. Al says think tough BVS. A lot of questions of director's cut is obviously way better than the
Yeah, of
theatrical
course.
cut. I think we all sort of. I think that's the general consensus is that theatrical.
Yeah,
cut
I
is
think
not,
I think of
not
it all
very
as
good.
one movie. It's the director's cut, but it's the same movie.
Yeah.
I don't think of it any different.
Diana
To be
saying
honest.
Wonder Woman 1,000%. I mean, you guys got the same name, so D,
Yeah,
you got to go
makes
with
sense.
that. Gal is fantastic. Wonder Woman couldn't ask for better. Yeah, you know what? Here's what I feel. I like Wonder Woman. I do. I like it a lot. I really am not huge on the third act. It's sort of just a CGI puke fest. It has no real like heart except for I guess when Steve Trevor dies. That is, I love Chris Pine. Chris Pine's the man. And it was sad, and it was a very interesting decision to see him go. And I like a period piece movie too. But all that being said, I really like BVS. I know it has issues. Believe me. Jesse Eisenberg isn't the best Lex Luthor Jr. The performance is weird. Some questionable things. I do gotta say though, and I'm gonna save this a little bit for when we talk about Batman Returns. Don't anyone worried about Batman killing in this
gosh.
movie? Go back and watch some Michael Keaton, all right? Because that dude murders
Yeah.
people straight up. Okay, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck crushes as Batman.
Yes.
I know he's kind of emo, but I really do like Henry Cavill as
No.
Superman. No, I'm okay with it. But he's a little bit on the emo side. But it's an artistic choice. I get it. But man, I'll tell you what, the fight scenes that they have together and Batman in the warehouse, and I'm sure, hopefully we get to talk about that more if this movie moves on.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
best Batman fight scenes ever.
Most deaf.
I mean,
most
it's visceral, it's brutal. It's actual real good fight choreography. It's so good.
Yes.
It's so great.
Yeah. Especially if you played the games, it's very reminiscent of the games. And they even did
Yeah.
a video where somebody put that on there. It was pretty dope
Yeah,
seeing that.
it's very Arkham.
And,
Yeah.
I see my girl Patricia Palmisano saying she disagrees with me. It's not really a disagreement. I'm not saying that the movie about Wonder Woman isn't just a love story. Yes, it is a movie of seeing her come and learn that she has to be a hero. I totally get that. Not trying to take that from Wonder Woman. That's her thing. But at the same time, as an overall movie, I just feel like they focused on too many elements that didn't even support she's becoming a hero type deal. Some of it was a little selfish. Some of it was a little out there in the realm of, the love aspect as well. But yes, she did, learn she had to become a hero and move on and all that great stuff too. But at the same time, BVS, man.
I will say this though, in defense of Wonder Woman, after Wonder Woman 1984, it made me appreciate this Wonder Woman movie
I will have to
more.
agree with that.
A lot more. Look, we're not here to talk about movies that aren't on the list, but I gotta say, I think
Yeah.
there's a reason why 1984 did not make this list. So,
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah.
But it really did. It made me look back and say, you know what? It really it made me appreciate the original Wonder Woman a lot more.
I was speaking with Al, and I told him the same thing. I was like, man, I don't even like Wonder Woman, but Wonder Woman 84 makes me like Wonder Woman more, just because that was done better than this movie was.
Yeah.
But that's not saying much either, because I didn't like Wonder Woman too much either. Especially when they ended it. There's a lot of different problems to me, and I just feel like. Let me say this, and maybe Patricia may agree with that, but there's just too many things that they try to make female centric, that they focus too much, to me, on the power of it all. It's like girl power, and it's like, okay, yes, women are very powerful, but y'all overdo it, and it's like certain instances, like like again, talk about movies that's not on the list. Birds of Prey. You know, some of that was just unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to see strong women be actual strong women, whether it's brain or brawn.
Yeah.
And there's just different ways to play it that they don't play it. That I think in real life, seeing women in these positions would go differently. But in a great way,
maybe
at the same time.
I could give you Birds of Prey. I don't know that I follow. I'm with you on the Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's fucking. Excuse me. Wonder Woman's Superman, dude. Like, of course, Wonder Woman's supposed to be.
Well,
great,
right, but when Superman does it, we're always like, yeah, this dude's kicking ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, we expect that, from a male. But from women, it is hard to put that clash of femininity in there with strength. So first one I say did way better than the second one, but.
All right, well, let's see what the people have to say. It's time to vote. All right, if you want Batman v Superman to make it to the next round, do exclamation vote 4 in the chat. If you want Wonder Woman to make it to the next round, exclamation vote 5. All right, we got. I think this is going to be super close.
This is going to be really close, yeah. But I'm telling you guys, man, BVS. The action scenes were great. Henry Cavill is Superman. I mean, they couldn't have picked nobody better. And I know Wonder Woman, man. It's an okay movie, but
I don't know, man. From the looks of it, it looks like BVS, man, got a good pre-game vote or seating going in, but
it's getting there.
It doesn't look like it's gonna make it here, man. With right now, it's going back and forth.
At the same time, though, I'm not really surprised because there's just too much that they did do wrong with just like people can't help but attach BVS with Justice League 2 because you know why? It's like they both had elements in it that weren't that great, and you just kind of for some reason your brain does this with it. And it's like, so they killed Superman at the end, that movie BVS, and then they brought him back, and you just keep going. You don't stop and realize that they're two separate movies in your mind. So I'm not surprised, but I still feel like it's going to be super close. And I think that's probably it, because I think we got good 95% of everybody probably voted.
Yeah, we got 1 minute. We got done on the clock. 55% of the vote going to Wonder Woman. Man, I knew this was going to be close. I'm not even that surprised.
Me either. I'm not even disappointed. I'm not even going to say the chat failed me on this one. I knew there would be a slight chance that Wonder Woman would come out on top.
Yeah.
So I'm not even thrilled on that one. That's not even, and plus that goes good with Batman Begins anyway. So BVS, that would have been a hands down Batman Begins on that one. So you guys get this one.
All right, Batman Begins will face Wonder Woman in the next round, but now we go to our third matchup of the first round. The number 3 seed Dark Knight goes up against the number 6 seed of Aquaman. Lavis, I mean, most people consider Dark Knight one of the greatest movies ever. So how do you feel about this matchup?
I mean, you see the background, so but this one is actually harder for me than the last one because Aquaman wasn't a bad movie. I actually really enjoyed Aquaman. I guess I have to get to the used to that version of Arthur Curry where he's a little more out there as far as his attitude. They show Aquaman is a little more of a reserved guy, and I guess when you see him at certain points, he had to grow into that. Except for the Flashpoint movie where he was just an outright ruthless killer, that version of Aquaman was. But this version of Aquaman, to come in the story, how they go and discover the armor and just going through that with Black Manta on their tail and the fight scene with that, I thought that was really done great. I thought the visual effects for this was awesome. Aquaman was a really great movie. But you got The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight has one of the best storylines ever for a movie. You got my man Heath Ledger as the Joker, and one of the most bidded as underdogs in this movie. When people heard that they got Heath Ledger to be the Joker, it was like the Dark Knight is gonna flop. What are they doing? and then he comes and crushes it. And since I got you people now, and I've always hearing people saying, "Oh, well, it wasn't a Batman movie." How's that not a Batman movie? How do you figure that just because you like this movie because you love Heath Ledger's performance as Joker takes it away from Batman? You wouldn't get the Joker without Batman in the first place. And it's really nice seeing a movie that doesn't always have to focus on the hero coming out as the hero in the end. At least how we're always used to it. It's just the ending. He won, he gets to fly off into the night, just Batman. No, we got to actually learn why he is the Dark Knight. Okay, he had to do some really underhanded stuff that nobody else was gonna do, to where Lucius Fox was like, dude, I'm not messing with you no more because of what you doing. You know what I'm saying? He had to do some underhanded stuff, and Nobility Y'all still took the blame for something he didn't even do. Dark Knight, okay? Aquaman's great. Aquaman's a great movie, but The Dark Knight, you learned so much thanks to Christopher Nolan in that movie, and it's you know, it sucks we don't have Heath Ledger anymore. But you know, he delivered, and it was solid, man. Like go back and watch all the different side stuff that they did with him and hearing how he was on set. That was an awesome movie. Aquaman, we ain't even got Aquaman 2 yet. Okay, we talk about the second of a trilogy already. Okay, so
yeah,
Dark Knight, people.
This is not a competition.
No.
Look, I mean, all credit to anyone out there who loves Aquaman. I'm not gonna disparage your opinion on this movie, but there's no way. I will shut the stream down if it beats The Dark Knight, because that would just be absolutely ridiculous. Aquaman, I thought was okay personally. Like I didn't love it. I thought some of the CGI was like super questionable for me. I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He's great. He's great. He made that movie. Look, the controversy aside, I thought Amber Heard was terrible in this movie. I really do.
Yeah.
I don't think she's a good actress. You know, and that has literally nothing to do with any of the controversy with Johnny Depp and all that stuff. And this because my opinion of that was before like that stuff like happened. So I thought she was really terrible in this movie, and it sort of threw me out of the whole thing. Some cool fight sequences, but just overall, like it didn't like do it for me. Like it was fine. Like it's not like the most egregious thing in the world, but you know.
No, it's a good. I would rewatch it. It's rewatchable.
Yeah, I would say
was on TV or something. TV. I would sit back and be like, okay, cool, it's Aquaman. And I say TV because I'm a boomlennial.
I know, right? Because that's the thing, right? So, as we move on, there's not going to be any TV, so you're gonna have to like actively choose. You're gonna have to scroll HBO Max, and it's gonna have to be like, do I watch this or do I watch The Dark Knight again? Which is really heavy. Right. It's a really heavy movie. So you really have to sort of be in the mindset for it. But I don't know. I don't think there's too much question on this one. So let's get to the poll. If you want to vote for The Dark Knight, do vote 3 in the chat. If you want to do Aquaman, vote 6. I do think that there's going to be some people who vote Aquaman, but it's not going to be me. I'll be voting. I'll be voting Dark Knight. Let me see what everyone has to say in here. Patricia says she agrees about Amber. I saw her as an actress, not a character. I get what you're saying. Like she didn't really like fill the role. You didn't feel like she was Mera. You felt like she was Amber Heard, and everyone else sort of got into their role in that movie. Let's see what everyone else says. Star Wars Santa says another tough matchup here. By far the best portrayal of Aquaman in DC. I would agree with that. I mean, what do we have? The Super Friends to really go by, but yeah,
Aquaman. I mean, for I guess again television, but some of those DC movies out there are really great movies and great adaptations. I think one of them is The Throne of Atlantis.
The animated movies.
The animated movies at least do him justice nowadays. Even the animated cartoons did. He just really was untouchable back in the day. Nobody was touching Aquaman coming off of Super Friends, like you said. There was
Yeah,
nobody
no,
doing that.
I will agree with that. Anytime any of the Justice League animated, most of them, like 9 out of 10 times, man, we got to do an animated
Yes.
DC night, because there's some
I would love to come back for that one.
incredible movies
Yeah.
that we could talk about for
Yeah,
sure.
I got some recent ones I need to catch up on, so that'll be some motivation for me, regardless.
Yeah, and now that they're all streaming and everything, see, the best part about doing this show now that theaters exploded is that there's more online for people to go watch beforehand, which is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
All right,
Most definitely.
time is up, man. 93% of the vote is going to The Dark Knight. Pretty much
Weird
what
shit.
we expected. Yeah,
Yeah, that's where it should have went anyway. I think Patricia was the only one that voted for Aquaman.
I mean, I'm actually surprised. I'm a little surprised that it was that that.
Yeah,
that
I didn't think
big,
it'd be that steep. Yeah,
I mean,
I think it'd be like 3.
yeah, but hey, like I said earlier, it's considered one of the greatest movies ever. So, to no surprise there. All right, the number 3 seed. Moving on. This next one, I know for you personally, man, I know this is gonna be a good one. We got the number 2 seed of Man of Steel going up against the number 7 seed of Batman Returns. Lavis. Batman Returns is in, and the original Batman is not. I think we're kind of in agreement on that. But how do you feel about that going up against Man of Steel in this one?
I mean, I think people already know which way I'm going to lean. I mean, I have to lean that way because I have to pay it homage. I mean, it's going to get that. But people like, they have their mixed emotions about Man of Steel because of the fact that he killed Zod, because of how dark it was. I thought it was a very great realistic take. I thought it was visually stunning yet again. Seeing Russell Crowe just in those little moments in the beginning where he's just a boss, dude. He's handling that. Like, that's actually what I would love to see Superman evolve into. How they portrayed my man Jor-El in that movie. Like, he got it in. And then just the little how they skip through, and how you seen how he was slowly developing his powers and just becoming an underground Superman in a way, kind of like they did like in the Smallville. You kind of get a little more in depth with that. But I guess the biggest part of this, or if you want to take it apart, if I'm going to be a little mean about it or whatever, just I didn't like how they made Lois Lane figure out who he was so easily. And I say easily because honestly, if you look at some of the breadcrumbs that they laid for how he was discovering his powers, it all pointed to Clark, and it really don't make no sense how nobody else don't know he's Superman. But whatever, he don't even get to drop the Jerry curl in this one, and people just don't know he's Clark Kent no more. But you got Batman Returns over here, and again, we talk about another sequel to a movie, and Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Keaton. I mean, when you go back and you look at that movie, especially during this time of year, if we're going to debate it, we just had Christmas. I know a lot of y'all was sitting at home. If you got kids, you was probably sitting there with the children and watching Batman Returns. And yes, he's a murderer in this movie. Off top, as soon as you come in, like, he's hitting people with the car. He knocked somebody down in a little cellar and threw a bomb down there after him. He attaches a bomb to another dude, blows him up. There is a kill count for Batman that they have on YouTube that y'all can go look up. And 90% of them scenes in that video is from Batman Returns, okay? It was ruthless in this movie. And me as a kid loved every second of it, okay? So keep it as it was. Batman doesn't kill outright, okay? All those were kind of off screen, so you didn't see it. So like they said, if you don't get a body in a movie, they didn't die. So technically,
there's one. I'll just jump in real quick. When he turns the Batmobile around and he does the fire booster and he burns the guy alive, that dude's roasted.
yeah. But again, you don't see him completely expire, so
I suppose not. You are right on that one.
You don't get a body in the movies, okay? That's what they said. That's the rule, okay?
Right.
You gotta pay attention to the rules, Mike. But no, I mean overall, you gotta give it to me. You gotta give it to Batman Returns still because that's a classic. That movie's not going anywhere. As much as I love Man of Steel, and I won't be mad, if you guys want to throw a couple votes on there, maybe it surpasses Batman Returns, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So there's that.
Well, here's what I'll say. I agree with you. Batman Returns is great. And we were talking before we went on that I hadn't seen Batman Returns in probably a good 10 years. It's just one that it's always been in my memory and I just never really revisited. I usually tend to revisit the first one more, which I personally don't think actually holds up. So I stopped watching it because I feel like my memory of it is better than the actual movie. So I haven't seen Batman Returns in a while. Turned it on yesterday to prep for the show. Man, what a crazy movie. It's so good. Danny DeVito crushes it in this movie.
Yes.
I always thought, in my memory, I thought he was way over the top, but he really wasn't. He was like super villainous and creepy, but he never went like full Jim Carrey, right? He just was like right at the edge, and it was so good. Michelle Pfeiffer is incredible in this movie. It's a little weird that they sort of make her kind of be like a real cat sometimes when she's not, even though the Penguin is more like a real penguin. It's a little weird, but it's got a lot of Tim Burton. It's Tim Burton, so he goes a little overboard.
Get pushed out of I don't even know how many stories she got, but 20 or so.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And went through all those little banners,
right?
And then right on the ground and lived. Let's see you survive that and get ate up by cats and wake up not knowing where you are and see if you don't.
I can't.
Once in a while.
I can't argue. I can't argue with that until I've gone through what she's gone through. Maybe I would turn into a cat as well. So okay. I will give you that point. Not as much Michael Keaton in this movie, really, as the first one. He is definitely a character. It's not a Batman movie, but he is sort of. Batman isn't the central character of this. It's very much a villain movie, and Batman is in it, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It actually makes you want to see him more. So in this case, less is more, I think. Trinity in the chat just said Walken. Walken was so good in this movie.
I'm pretty sure it's going to go on, so I'm trying to save that for later debates because we all know what it is. You
know what though? That being said, I'm still voting for Man of Steel. I flat out love. I know it's plot twist here. A little M. Night Shyamalan.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sorry. Man of Steel to me is brilliant. It's a brilliant film. Before Man of Steel, and I love DC and I love DC characters, and I just never really liked Superman. I thought he was super corny. Look, I have the utmost respect and appreciation for the Donner movies and what they did for comic book movies and cinema and just the genre in general, but they never really connected with me. But that's fine. I don't trash on them because parts of them are really good, but they never connected with me. And this was the first time I really got into Superman. So for me, the transformation of seeing really what he went through as a kid and the whole opening scene on Krypton was it blew my mind. It was absolutely incredible. Russell Crowe in that movie is I wish he was my dad sometimes, he's so good. And it changed my mind on what Superman could be. So for me, Man of Steel is extremely high on my top 10 list of comic book movies. I love Batman Returns. I wish it wasn't matched up against Man of Steel in this round because I think it could have went on in other matchups. I think it still might go on, but for me right now, I'm on the opposite side. I love Batman Returns. It's a great movie, but for me, it's Man of Steel. Man of Steel for me could make it to the finals, but we'll see.
I mean, like I said, I'm not too objective. I'm not too objective on that. I still believe Batman Returns overall. That's where my vote's going.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did love Man of Steel, and I would not mind continuing the conversation about that movie later either. So I'm very loose. The first round for me, I'm always very loose between. It might be difficult, but
yeah.
Next round,
I mean, like I
You know what we
said,
got?
that's why I said at the beginning I think we have actually 8 really good movies on this for this,
Most
and Tim actually made a good point. He said it's a good starting point for the DCEU. I thought it was a great, so you know, especially looking back on it now, like compared to everything else, you know, that we've gotten. It what a great starting point. All right, let's go into the poll
starting point.
Let's see what the people have to say. I think this is going to be close. I kind of feel that you might be right. I think Batman Returns might make this and move on. Man of Steel, though, in the disc again, if you want to be a part of ranking for the show, do !Discord in the chat. Get that link. Join the Discord. The poll for next week is actually up right now, and I'm going to talk about it after we get through all of this stuff. But let's see what you guys have to say. Maybe I was right. Lavis, look at this. Right off the gate, we got almost 72% of the vote going Man of Steel.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why Man of Steel is winning.
Okay.
Because
tell me, lay it on me.
I'm looking at these names in here, and a lot of these are the OGs, which means a lot of them have voted Batman Returns plenty of times, and now they're just ready to see a change. Which is why, like I said,
right,
I'm very loose on this one. You know, I won't mind talking about Batman Returns, but I'm not gonna bust out the meat and potatoes about none of these in the first round, because the chat is fickle. Y'all are fickle. Love you all. I used to be one. I am one of you. You know, we fickle, man. As soon as Adam don't say something right, I don't say something right. It's like, oh no,
they're gone. Yeah, I'm surprised actually. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be. It's the number 2 seed.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's number 2. So
you know, but yeah. So I mean, this is a pretty sounding defeat. Look, I will say this, guys. Go back and watch if you haven't. I think part of it, Lavis, is that people haven't seen Batman Returns in a while. And look, go back and watch it. It's crazy. It's such a mind f of a movie. It's so Tim Burton. After rewatching that movie, I totally understand why we got the Schumacher ones, because they saw this movie, which is great, but they were like, we can't have this direction. It is not for children. Like, Batman Returns is not really for kids, like, at all. There's some language, like, and look, I'm not opposed to language at all, obviously, but like, just doing that for a Batman movie, and some of like the sexual innuendos and like the literal sexual stuff that they do on that, they're probably like, yikes, we gotta like reel it back. Let's get some Jim Carrey up in this, because it is a adult movie. It's not for kids.
Yeah. But yeah, the 80s and early 90s, man, there was such a veil over that time period for some reason. Like, even stuff like that was just passable because nobody was paying real attention back then, if you really think about it.
No.
And how could they? You know, we didn't have cell phones. People were at work. When they were at work, they were at work. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't pick up my phone and get in trouble for that. So, you know, nobody was really paying attention to these movies. It was a fun time to go watch these movies back in '89.
Yeah.
And you went home, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was able to when I unplugged the phone back in the 90s, nobody was reaching me. Now when I unplug the phone, I put it in my pocket and I'm walking out the door. So a lot of stuff they passed off back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Just because they could.
No, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. All right. The number 2 seed with 71% of the vote is moving on to the next round. Labas, we got 4 stellar movies here for us to debate and talk about in this next round. Let's get into it. The number 1 seed of Batman Begins is going to go up against the number 5 seed of Wonder Woman. Look, man, I don't think it's going to be too hard of a discussion for you because you trashed all over Wonder Woman earlier, but is there any way that you can see Wonder Woman surpass Batman Begins in this round?
I mean, seeing the response from what I baited everybody into. See, you got to do that with this chat. You got to bait them in, okay? You got to bait them in.
Yeah.
And see how they respond to things first.
Yeah.
So seeing the response that Wonder Woman got, I would feel like this is going to be a very close one again. But again, we got a lot of OGs in the chat. So I feel like Batman Begins might be in a little bit of trouble, even though I'm going to throw my vote over there still because I think that it's just one of the better movies, period. As far as if you want to call them origin or how they get started movies, whatever you want to call it, I just feel they did a better job with Batman Begins. He got a great starting off villain but you got my man Crane in there being Scarecrow. Scarecrow wasn't really nothing too tough, but it was something for him to go after and start off as Batman and just get his wings. But then you, of course, you had Ra's al Ghul that came back and really solidified who Batman was trying to become. And when it comes to Wonder Woman, again, it was more of she met someone that drug her out of that world to see that the world needed someone that was like her to be able to keep it up and save it in the end. But I could watch that movie right now and still not have so much to talk about it because I just didn't like it when it came down to it. In the end, Gal Gadot, yes, I think she did great as Wonder Woman. I don't see her as an actress. I see her as Wonder Woman. If she walked up to me in person or whatever, I would, totally don her that. But just the way that they did that movie, the only reason why I could say I like it better is because of how 84 played out right now. And I got more of the Wonder Woman backstory. I didn't. I'm about to go into the other movie. Batman Begins all day, and just because it's a better movie. Where you feeling?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on this one. Batman Begins is hands down the winner here. I don't think it's going to be close. I actually think. I think Wonder Woman will get some votes tonight, but I think this is where she meets her end. You're right, man. The villains in this movie are great. Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow are nice. I like how you put the fact that like Scarecrow not necessarily super formidable, but like he was more of the mental villain, and Ra's al Ghul was the physical villain,
right.
And so it really got him to take both sides and use both of those skills that he has or that he's learning to use as Batman to tackle both of those issues. So it's a really great point by you. But for me, Batman Begins. I don't even think this is. I mean, look, let's see what the people have to say because I think you and I are. There's not much of a debate on this one.
Right.
Trinity says
thanks, Patricia.
Trinity says it went all downhill after Begins. I've heard him say that before. He loves Batman Begins, not necessarily like big on the rest of them. Diana, I will always vote for Wonder Woman. She is my namesake. Plus, she kicks ass. Who doesn't love her? She does kick ass.
She does.
A lot of the fight choreography in Wonder Woman is stellar. I'll say this. While I'm not a huge fan of the third act of this movie, I think Patty Jenkins, in this movie in particular, does a really good job of shooting action. And she makes Gal Gadot look amazing in all of the fight scenes that she has. She really does kick ass. I think that's for sure.
Right, but if people are still gonna go Wonder Woman, and
I think so, man. I just think. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that Nolan did better. I just think Nolan did a better job at getting his point across, at molding a Batman that you wanted to see back in theaters. Just all different aspects. I think Nolan crushed that. And when it comes to Wonder Woman, nobody really cared when they delayed it. If you ask me, nobody was like, "Give me that Wonder Woman movie." Nobody did that.
I mean, I wanted to see it. I certainly did. I know that I'm higher on Wonder Woman than you are, but I was looking forward to Wonder Woman 84. But I don't know. Maybe Wonder Woman, this one, may not get some votes because people are a little sour right now. We were the reason why we're doing DC tonight was because of Wonder Woman 84. I fully expected Wonder Woman 84 to be on this list, but it just didn't work out. It just didn't do it.
Nah, man. But I won't be surprised if Wonder Woman even wins this whole thing, just because, like I said, it made that movie look better.
Yeah.
And to me, in all my 32 years, I've never seen a sequel come out that honestly made the first one look so much better like this one did. Like there are sequels that the first one is better than the sequel. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like to honestly make you look back at that movie and be like, why the hell didn't you make it like this one? Look,
Yeah.
But again, I see Batman Begins slowly pulling away like it should.
That's the thing. Wonder Woman came out to a strong start, so I thought for a second there Wonder Woman was going to take it, but out of nowhere, people voting exclamation vote one for Batman Begins a lot, man.
There's a reason.
Yeah,
there's a reason.
But I see Wonder Woman's trying to make a late game comeback here. I see a lot of vote fives in the chat, so we got to get those votes counted and see where we land. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. I don't think Wonder Woman tonight is going to have enough votes to make it past past Batman tonight. So
which is, it's fine. Yeah. It puts up a valiant effort, but in the end, you got to remember that Batman has contingencies for everybody on the Justice League. So
yeah, and with that, I think we're gonna close out the poll right now. Wonder Woman losing 37% of the vote to 63%. Batman Begins is gonna move on. I think Tim asked in the chat if you can vote twice. You cannot vote twice. You can change your vote though. It will allow you to change your vote if you so choose so, but no, it will only let account you. It does it by per account, not per vote. So no. But if you if you vote and then maybe Lava says something in the middle and makes you change your mind, then hey, that could happen too, and you can switch it up. But not this time. Batman Begins, the #1 overall seed, making it to the next round.
As it should.
Okay. Now this may be a no-brainer to some. To me, this one is going to be a tough one. We got the #3 seed Dark Knight going up against the #2 seed Man of Steel. I mean,
I see you sweating over there.
I am. I'm
this
sweating.
Is actually easy for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Really so I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, this is real easy for me, and I'm not even going to go with the fact that it's nothing to do with anything being a better movie. It's just the fact that I feel it actually deserves its turn. I feel like it deserves to actually go forward. And honestly, I'm one of the people who's probably going to pop up here in the chat in a second and be like, I don't want to see The Dark Knight going up against Batman Begins. So I'm actually going to say I want to see Man of Steel come out on top on this one. I love The Dark Knight. Duh. Everybody should know that. I'm a huge, if you want to call me Batman stan, go ahead and do it. I could have brought out my collection of everything Batman that I have, to prove that. But at the same time, as much as I love The Dark Knight, I do love Man of Steel. I'm actually glad to see that it's even paired up against a movie like The Dark Knight. Finally, it deserves its due, for real. So many people just want to come out and be like they don't like it, but where else did you ever get a live action on screen real life Superman? Like, where else are you getting that at? Nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Not even on the CW can you go see an actual real life Superman. They're trying to redo Lois and Clark for 2020 now. Like, no, I want to see a gritty Superman. Okay, he had the nerve to do what was right. Okay, everybody's so scared. Oh, what? He could have just threw Zod back into Why? So he could bust out again and do it again? No, take him out. And he did. He did what he had to do. Unless you wanted to see that family get cut up, like nothing else was working. Zod is an MF in general. Okay, he was learning too fast. He had to go.
Yeah.
So Man of Steel, The Dark Knight, we know he did what he's gonna do. Batman already got the nuts and bolts and screws and the tools to do what he's going to do what's right. But Superman deserves his due, and I'm gonna give it to him. So Man of Steel is getting my vote on this.
Star Wars Santa says we need a Batman versus Superman final. Got to go with Man of Steel. He's feeling you. Mike Porter also says I love Man of Steel, but Dark Knight will win. I think that's I think that might be a common sentiment, or we'll see when we get to the voting. Lavas, this is tough for me, honestly, because I said earlier Dark Knight is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. Very well could be one of my favorite movies of all time. I do have issues with this movie though. One of my biggest issues is that I feel like Harvey Dent is not as highlighted as I would have liked him to be. Yeah, and that's hard because when you have Heath Ledger as Joker, who commands the screen and just like captivates and captures you, it's hard. It's almost second fiddle, which sucks because like he could have led as a villain his own movie. Like that's how strong it is. So I guess that's a positive too, that you have two villains who are very very strong. One of my biggest downfalls in this movie though is Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think she's terrible in this movie. I'm not a huge fan. I honestly, and I will probably get to it when we talk Batman Begins, but I think Katie Holmes is a better Rachel than Maggie Gyllenhaal. So it just, I don't know. She just like it chews the scenery in a bad way to me. So that's a knock, man. That's a knock for me. And Christian Bale really goes hardcore on the Batman voice in this one, like way more than Batman Begins. Like he does it in Batman Begins, but it's not. He really like in this movie.
And that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Because so he shouldn't have leaned into it too hard in Batman Begins, honestly, because he was beginning to be Batman. So, but seeing that it worked, I guess, and then seeing coming back in the Dark Knight, him really being I'm Batman, I felt that just solidified the character more because he's been doing it for a couple years, so Christian Bale must have just started gargling before he went on set to do the Batman scenes when he was talking. So I believed it. And then after a while, he stopped doing the gritty I'm Batman and started whispering. And I kind of like that a lot more because for a horror element, if they ever decided to make like a horror Dark Knight, and if it just had him whisper,
right?
You imagine how scary that would be for real. It's like you don't know what's coming after you, dude. Is this real? Like that's Batman to me. But
which they kind of do in BVS a little. They try to make that like a little horror element for sure.
Yeah, but that to me, BVS was more of a you got to see Batman just be outright kick ass.
Yeah,
to me on that one, like he was his normal John Cena.
I'll be honest, man. This one is tough for me because I love Dark Knight. I love Man of Steel. I am super torn. I'm glad though that like I'm not the one having to make the decision. I am super glad that you guys in the chat are the ones who have to make this decision tonight. Let's roll the poll. If you want the Dark Knight exclamation vote 3. If you want Man of Steel exclamation vote 2. I may sit back on this one. I have voted every round so far just to sort of like have fun with it and get it in there. I honestly I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do on this one.
I went Man of Steel, man. I think at least at the very end, it deserves to make it toward the end, in my opinion. But
here's what I'll say. We have Batman Begins, we have The Dark Knight, we have Man of Steel. Okay, those are, I think for me personally, those are my top 3 on this list. So I'm cool. I'm cool with whatever wins so far. I just don't know. And it looks like it doesn't even matter because The Dark Knight is running away with it right now. The Man of Steel, it was close to start in the voting, but after just a few seconds, few votes, Dark Knight is just like it's starting to climb here with these votes.
And just let this go to show, okay? Whether it be in the movies, whether it be in the comics, whether it be here on Debate 8, Batman always wins over Superman.
He does. Okay? Oh, all the time. Man, you've been around long enough to watch and know that like Batman. You guys love Batman. You guys love your Batman. It almost doesn't matter what version it is.
These are my people. Like I know they heard me go against Batman in this, but they knew it wasn't full. Hearted. It was just me saying the Superman deserves his turn. But I guess y'all don't feel that way, which I'm cool with,
Yeah.
I never lose when Batman wins. I get to debate Batman and Batman. Like this is what I'm here for, man.
I mean, but that's the thing, right? Tim says, how could you not love Batman though? I agree. That's the thing. Right. It's like there's a reason why we love Batman because he's the best. Hey, look, even I know, but I'm telling you right now, once The Batman with Robert Pattinson comes out and that gets thrown into a list, you guys are probably going to vote that all the way to the end as well too. So like I know what you guys do. I know what you do.
Maybe it depends. I mean, I'm hoping it comes out and it's a great movie.
Right.
When it comes to the Batman, I see someone earlier in the chat said that The Batman looks more like a Batman movie than most of the Christopher Nolan versions. But again, it's the first movie, so of course it's going to be about Batman. It's his coming to age story, and I'm kind of hoping that they do more of and I didn't like this cartoon version. I was talking to Al about this, but the Batman that they did for Cartoon Network. I don't know if anybody ever really watched that version. That's the version where the Joker actually is like he's got dreads and he knows how to fight. He's like he's like a Kawapira, but he looks deformed.
Yeah,
and all that. Like all of them are kind of more futuristic. It's more of a anime look. I didn't like that for the cartoon, but I think that would translate very well on screen. So I'm kind of hoping it goes that the Batman is more of that direction.
You know what I want to see live action. It'll never happen. I want to see the samurai Batman in live action. Did you see that movie?
I saw a lot of it. I didn't get to see the whole thing to see how it ended.
I liked it.
I need to go back.
I know a lot of people actually didn't like that, which is fine. Like you don't have to do like a direct adaptation, but just like visually and character design, like Batman in feudal Japan is just like it's crazy to me. Like I loved it. I just love that stuff in general. But The Dark Knight, 65% of the vote. Moving on, man. I mean, I guess we should have saw this coming.
Superman.
I know you did your best, and I don't fault you for it. All right, so we got an all Nolan final. We got Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. This is tough. This is tough for me, man. Like I said earlier in the night. Talk to me on a different day. I might choose a different movie, which is my favorite Batman movie. So tonight, the last show of Debate 8 in 2020. Which are you gonna go with? Are you gonna go Batman Begins or The Dark Knight?
I'm gonna help out Jennifer J. Quinn here in the chat. She said she don't like neither. So if anything, I'll at least try to pique your interest because one, you need to watch both these movies, and you need to watch the first one in order to appreciate The Dark Knight. But The Dark Knight is where it's at. Okay. So, the Batman Begins, you get to see my man, as a kid fall down the cave, discover, some bats at that point, but he comes back because he remembers that and he becomes the Batman because he needs that symbol. You get to see him kind of go through how they did in the animated series where he wears a little mask over his face and, terrorizes Commissioner Gordon with the stapler. And, he gets away. Then, he comes back and Gordon got to pay my man respect because he puts the whole sauce of respect on his name in Batman Begins because of how he handles everything when all hell breaks loose. But The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight, you have someone who's hip to Batman's game. Okay, he doesn't kill. He, even though he doesn't have to save you, he'll leave you that way. He's still not going to do that if he sees an option to save you. So you got a man who plays on that. Okay, a man who comes out and just kills for no reason because he just wants to see the world burn. Okay, and in the end, pretty much he gets people on a boat, a whole boatload of people, 2 of them, losing their minds. Ready to get casted out like a leper. You gotta love that movie. Like you have to, coming off of Batman Begins, when in the end, if you really want to look at it compared to 2, Batman Begins is a bit of a snoozer compared to it, okay? I could fall asleep through about a good 20-25 of Batman Begins and wake up and not be lost in what's going on in that movie. But you try to do that for that long in The Dark Knight, and you're gonna want to pray that you didn't go watch it in the movies, at least when it first came out, because you're going to need the DVD or Blu-ray to go back, because you're going to want to see how the Joker got my man all twisted up and caught up in his feelings to where for a good portion of the movie, he don't even dress up as Batman. Okay? And he gets my man scared to be Batman. Ain't nobody doing that. Okay? Even Bane in 3, he came out, my man was ready to suit up and take him down twice. Okay, and this one he put the costume down for a minute. He was ready to give up. Okay, you got to be able to go back and watch. I'm over here saying it like you just can't stream it right now. I'm saying like it's about to come out tomorrow. I'm not even giving you spoilers to the movie. Okay, for real. Like it's that good. Like I don't even want to tell you. Okay, so just Dark Knight, everybody. Just Dark Knight.
All right. I don't like. I will agree with like almost everything that you've said, except for the fact of falling asleep to Batman Begins. Man, the beginning is so good. Like you learn about why he went away and like his whole part of joining the League of Assassins and what he has to do with joining that crew and learning to be a fighter. And that's where you get the first sense of the Scarecrow's the mist and like what it can do for you. So like he has that experience with that at the beginning. So good. Man, this is so difficult for me because I love The Dark Knight. It's the performance of Heath Ledger and Joker is so iconic and so incredible. Whenever I watch that movie, it hands down, like, he captures your imagination of what you always thought the Joker could be in live action, right? I know Jack Nicholson was our intro to it, and looking back on it, it's fine. It's super cheesy, but at the time it was what we had. But then Mark Hamill came along with the Joker, and that solidified what the Joker was for me. So then seeing Heath Ledger, it was almost like, and I know Mark Hamill's is a little bit more on the jokey side, but like if you imagine what the hardcore stuff of what they did in the animated show and just translated that it's exactly what I thought it would be, and he nails it, and it's amazing performance. But I'm a sucker. I am a super sucker for an origin story. An origin story is like the best to me. I love that sort of like character arc moments that you get, and yes, because I'm a fan of origin stories, you can say that like a lot of them are similar. They start at certain points and they end up in the same place, but it always gets me every time. And so I don't know, I think tonight I might go Batman Begins. I might do it. It's crazy to me that might be my choice. It might be recency bias too, because I actually watched Batman Begins this morning. It was the last one that I watched for this list for tonight. So it's so fresh on my mind, but it's so good. Right. I don't know, man. This is tough. The chat's going crazy
in the
too.
End, it's tough. And in the end, and I see LB. What's up, LB? Came in and it was like, "How are you falling asleep?"
Yeah,
during
I
Batman
agree.
Begins. And
I agree.
Just one answer to that is Katie Holmes. Okay, Katie Holmes was a snoozer for me.
No, if we're gonna talk Rachel comparisons, all right, hold on. I gotta go back. I gotta go back to the screen. If we're talking Rachel comparisons, I'm sorry. Rachel or Katie Holmes is flat out way better than Maggie Gyllenhaal. She is. I don't know. She's just so. I was sort of happy when she died, right?
Oh,
like,
ouch.
I mean, seriously, like I was like ready for her to be like, okay, I don't want to see any more of you. Get out of here. Okay. So for me, like I was that part of the movie, I actually wasn't like too upset. I was just like, it's cool. See you later. But like if it was Katie Holmes, I think I might have shed a tear. I didn't in this one though. Gotta say.
Right. Well, see, I'm gonna tell you why. You were supposed to like Katie Holmes more. You were supposed to, because honestly, Katie Holmes should have never been casted as Rachel Dawes in that movie. To be completely honest, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, if you look at Christian Bale and Maggie Gyllenhaal side by side, they look. It fits. Okay. When you look at Christian Bale and Katie Holmes side by side, when how he was supposed to be in his 30s, but this is Christian Bale, like he's looking like himself. You kind of like. It must be the flashy cars and the money that why Rachel Dawes kind of likes him in that. But him and Maggie.
No, they were childhood friends. She was the maid's daughter. They were hand in hand. Come on, that's a true friendship.
I'm talking about casting. But again, so you ready? Like you said though, they was getting rid of her in the second movie.
Yeah.
So they got Maggie. They aged her up like she was supposed to look in that movie, and make you be like, oh, okay, well. If this is what they're really trying to push is like what Rachel Dawes was supposed to be like, then we don't need her. And then it pays off because they actually blow her up later. So it was supposed to set you up for that. You wasn't supposed to see Katie Holmes blow up because, what's the last thing Katie Holmes was in anyway that was good anyway? So
that's not the point. That's not the point. That's not the point.
Oh, yeah. See, okay. Now we want to talk about what's not the point, but we debate here.
All right, let's see what the people have to say. This is it. This is for the finals. Who do you think is the best DC movie on this one night? We'll see. All right, Batman Begins. If you want to vote for that, exclamation vote 1. If you want to vote for The Dark Knight, exclamation vote 3. Like I said, I'm going vote 1. I'm going I'm going Batman Begins. Lavis is going Dark Knight. We'll see where it ends up at the end of this. I really do believe Dark Knight's going to win. I'm not even like trolling. I'm not memeing. I really did vote for Batman Begins. You can see it in the chat. But Batman Dark Knight is so good that I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's going to blow it out the water here.
LB, I didn't say about how much the age difference was. It's like when you look at them two side by side. Okay, I'm not automatically going to be like, oh, well, she's about 4 years younger. You don't do that when you look at Kristen Bell and Katie Holmes side by side. Actually, I didn't even know that they were that close in age. Looking at it, like Katie Holmes looks good for her age. She said, well, she's in her early 20s. That's actually a compliment to her Katie Holmes. And I'm not saying anything about. I mean, I think he looks very distinguished for his age as well. It's just when you see Maggie Gyllenhaal side by side with Christian Bale, it looks a little more of a in their 30s toward their 40s type look. When you see Katie Holmes next to him, it looks more like this older gentleman is hitting on this younger woman. It's just how you perceive it kind of at first to me. It's how they did it. I don't care they aged them up through the years. They had to do that. So that's why she was perfect for that. They didn't change Katie Holmes at all through that movie. She just did what they had to cut Christian Bale's hair and put some extra makeup on my dude. Like, they didn't do nothing to Katie Holmes. She just walked on set. Okay, so they had to dumb her down a bit for the second one so they could kill her off. Nobody wanted to see Katie Holmes die in the movie.
I disagree hardcore with everything you just said. But you know, at the end of the night here, it looks like Dark Knight is gonna be our winner. We're gonna wrap up this vote right now. 62% of the vote. I guess I thought it was going to be a little closer than this, but I guess 62%, pretty commanding win for Dark Knight, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I was watching the chat as I was talking my game over here, and you know, I'm sorry people like LB, maybe Mike Porter. I know he kind of lightweight disagree with me. Sorry, man. The sequel to the movie was just better. It's just the way they did it was better. It's about a good, what is that, 20 some odd percent better.
Yeah.
By the vote, I agree with that.
Lavis,
it went up.
Lavis, Dark Knight is our winner tonight. First of all, thank you so much for joining me tonight. This is a blast, man.
To be here.
This is awesome. Now next week. We got a fun one. We'll let the people know what it is. I want to get your initial thoughts on what you think could win next week. Next week we are doing Pixar movies, the best Pixar movies. If you jump into the Discord, !Discord, you will see in there is the poll that is active right now for you to vote on which 8 you think should make it into the bracket. But just off the top of your head, Lavis, which Pixar movies, like, give me 1 or 2 Pixar movies that are like your favorites.
Well, first comes to mind, of course, you know, you got my man up there, so you got Toy Story, the first one.
Yeah.
I like The Incredibles. The Incredibles was actually the first one that came out for the time period that it came out in. I like that movie. I didn't realize Ratatouille was, I thought that was Disney. And that's the thing when it comes to them two, man. It's gonna be kind of hard for whoever you got debating to distinguish between the two. Even though we know it's Pixar, it's like, you know, because I think The Incredibles is Pixar and Disney. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
To discern the two.
Yeah.
But
Pixar, I was gonna say we got like the Toy Stories. We got Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, WALL-E, Soul, which just came out.
Soul's gonna win.
You know, we got a ton of really good movies on there.
Yeah, Soul's gonna win. Monsters Inc. was definitely a tearjerker. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I love Monsters Inc.
Even as a grown man, I got to prepare myself.
Yeah,
seeing it already, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and put the door back together. Let's go. Let's do this. Like, that was a good movie. And Pixar is really great at pulling on people like that. So I think Soul's gonna win. Everybody's been talking about that movie. I still have to watch it, but for what I saw and what I've been hearing, I got to prepare myself for that movie too.
Yeah, it's going to be at least a shock for me if Soul doesn't make it in the top 8. I fully prepared for Soul to be in the top 8, so we'll see. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how far I can make it. Lavis,
What up, man?
Half of After Dark on the Den of Nerds live YouTube channel. I know most of you are already subbed to there, but if you're not and you're new and you've watched this on the replay and you've made it this far in the show, go to Den of Nerds live, sub to that channel, and watch Thursday nights starting at 9. Sometimes it goes to 1 in the morning. Depends how the flow that you and Al have. Tell everybody about After Dark and what that show's all about for you.
Oh yeah, After Dark is just a fun time. Okay, it's really what it is. You want to come back and kick back on a Thursday night at 9. We got people who watch it at 4 in the morning. We got people who watch it at 1 all over the world who come in and watch After Dark, because it is just a great show. We give you the unadulterated, real live, our take on whatever it is we're talking about, whatever it might be, and you'll love it, even if you hate it, you still love the fact that you just got somewhere to be to hate what we talking about. And it's just a fun time. We do so much. We love you guys, and if you haven't watched it, come check it out. See what the buzz is about, man.
Absolutely.
There's live.
Definitely,
Thursday.
guys. Go watch it Thursday nights. It's a staple on my rotation to watch.
Come back again Saturday because we got afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's true. I always forget about afternoon. That's right, Saturday afternoons. The day version. You get the sunlight.
It kind of
in.
feels like the Saturday afternoon cartoons for adults, even though it's live. And, we're both humans and we're not animated.
Yes,
but we're animated on screen.
Love it.
But that's about it.
Amazing. Lavis, my man, thank you so much for hanging out tonight, talking DC. We'll get you on the show again super soon, and we'll definitely do more movie debates together. Definitely.
Looking forward to it, man.
All right, guys, go sub to Den of Nerds live. Go hang out with Lavis. Thank you all for hanging out tonight, talking DC movies. It's been a blast. It's been amazing. And look, 2020 is almost over. We got what, 26 hours left to go, and we can put this year behind us. But I do want to thank every single one of you for hanging out and making this channel and making this show in 2020 what it has been. It's been amazing, the support and the interest and the love that you guys have for this. We're bigger and better stuff. Join the Discord because I'm always dropping stuff that we're doing new. We got something new coming in a couple weeks. I'm very excited about that. I talked about on Discord, so go over there and see what that's all about. Thank you all. I appreciate every single one of you. You all are amazing. I hope you have a fun, safe New Year's Eve. I will see you all next week in 2021. Talking Pixar, voting on that. So thank you all. Have a great night. I'll see you next year. That's so corny.